Now back to the #1 truth fighter in Boston, the Warren Ballentine Show, only on NewsTalk, 1090 AM, WILD Boston, where information is power.
No, you want it so wrong. The hand is so wrong. Give it to me.
Warren Ballentine, coast to coast and around the world.
No, you want it so wrong. The hand is so wrong. Give it to me.
Barack Obama is with us on the Warren Ballentine Show.
I appreciate you, Warren. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You're now President Obama. The first thing you do you deal with the economy and the war?
Well, first of all, there's no doubt that the economy is going to be at the top of the list.
877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Now it's time to light up the phones and burn up the airwaves. Here's Warren.
All right, Truth Fighters, we are talking with Dick Gregory, also still raising money for the kids. Go to investtf.com, hit school fund, and again, email us at truthfighters@gmail.com as we try to get people across the country in the same cities to come together to talk about buying franchises and buying businesses in their community. We're talking with Dick, and when we went to break, Dick was talking about the subway in New York City on January 10th. And Dick, I Googled it. I found out what you're going to talk about, so I'm going to let you take it from here.
Okay, also on that same day, on the 9th, in Chicago, Northwestern students rode the L without pants. Okay, now on the New York Post, Monday, January the 10th, 2011, on page 3, they got the white woman standing there and the dudes with no pants on. She gets in her panties, boots, and a leather jacket, and it talks about how they braved the cold to ride the train with yesterday, the 10th annual No Pants subway ride. So y'all crazy. Listen, they ain't breaking no law. So what makes you Negroes think you have a right to police folk? But the bad thing, you don't go in and ask the question, how come malt liquor's not sold in white neighborhoods?
I talk about that all the time.
No, I'm saying, but the people that's talking about, why don't we go and stand in front and ask, test this? What's in this stuff here? And so consequently, when you stop and see what makes me, see, we come off this old emotional stuff. Get scientific, okay?
Yep.
When you go and find out, all you black folks talking about punishing, no African would ever hit a child, okay? That same strap you whip your children with, go out and hit your Cadillac with it. Here's the scientific data, and you want to know why these youngsters is acting, you see, what is happening, the chemicals in the food. And so Grandma and Grandpa, you shut up because your meat didn't have hormones in it. You talking about this gay stuff, all these hormones they put in stuff and it changes male hormones into female hormones. But here's some serious research out the University of Chicago. Y'all listen to this. Punishment leads to shame. Shame leads to anger, then rage, then finally violence. This is scientific data, not some old whack stuff y'all talking about. Second, shaming is the assault on the soul. When shaming reaches the inner core, that's where your God is, of the soul, it leads to violence. You're disturbing something. Then it goes on to say, when shaming is so overwhelming, the mind numbs itself, and the individual cannot feel anything. Listen to this. Anytime, cannot feel anything, anytime, leaving a sociopath, psychopath, a living machine that can kill or maim without feeling any remorse. Now, y'all walk around and think what you looking at is normal, okay? It's not. Anytime you have a headache and didn't get hit in your head, that's the universal God saying something's malfunctioning in your body. It don't mean go get an aspirin. So this whole day now, everything is changing, and thank God these young guys don't give a damn about what y'all saying, because y'all give them, Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken, can't even use the word chicken no more, because those chickens are genetically engineered. They grow them with no feet, no beaks, and no feathers, and you put it into them children, okay? All your potatoes in this country is genetically engineered. They're genetically modified. And so until we sit down now and realize we're not back in the old days, it's a new day now. and all you do is tune in to your real source. My little 6-year-old granddaughter asked me, "Granddad, where do wind go when it stop blowing?" Huh? Oh, what? Wait, say that again. Where do wind go when it stop? Ask your grandmother. You see these commercials in the living room? See Alice commercial? In the living room, you learn about black folk with their pants below their butt, but in your living room, they're talking about if you have a 4-hour erection. My granddaughter walks with me, she said, "Granddad, what's an erection?" I go ask your grandmother. She came back, Grandma told me to tell you, she'd tell me later, but she ain't seen one around the house in years.
Dick, all that thought we have a kids commercial break again. You are a mess. We are talking to Dick Gregory, and look, just imagine what we just learned that quickly in a 40-minute period. I mean, that's just unbelievable, the knowledge that he brings all the time. And you know what's great about having him on the show? I can just shut up and listen because I learn too. And then next week when y'all hear me talking like this, you know where I got it from. This man is just brilliant. I love him to death. And I'm gonna say this to everybody in my generation. This is why we don't know everything, and we shouldn't be running away from our older and elders. We should be running to them because they can teach us something. They know where the potholes in the road are. We don't know everything. We need to take time and listen. That's how we can learn. That's how we can learn. And I love this man for doing what he's doing on the show and what he's doing every day in the community. I mean, you know, Dick is just wonderful. Truth Fighters, we're talking to you. We're talking to Dick Gregory. We're going to get ready to close out the hour in just a minute. Be right back. Warren Ballentine Show.
NewsTalk 1090 AM, WILD, Boston, where information is power.
Talking with the Professor Dick Gregory. Dick, before we run out of time, I have to ask you, what do you think about this situation in Japan? What's your take on everything?
Grandma, who don't have the sophistication that you have, the nuclear stuff will be here in 2 days, okay? They lying to you to be in California in 2 days. Grandma, here's what you do. Go get you a turkey. I know you're a vegetarian. Get you a raw turkey. And that little raggedy car you got, put in the trunk and go out every 12 hours and open it up. If the turkey's done, radiation is there. Okay?
Wow.
Here's what you do. You go back a week ago today, okay? The Japanese and Japan was one of the premier countries in the history of the planet. And now they are reduced down to rebel. And let me tell you why. When you look at them lies they telling over there. Now, you remember our president, he just picked the #1 top corporate CEO to be part of his council. You know who that was, don't you?
Yeah, Bill Daley.
No. I'm talking about Bill Daley got a cabinet post. This cat is so far with Bill Daley, he make Bill Daley look like a win. He took the chairman and CEO of General Electric, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. He did put him over there. That's
who
right.
makes 80% of the nuclear plants on the planet? General Electric. All that stuff over there, that's General Electric, okay? Now, here's when you know something wrong. You saw where that battleship turned around the other day?
Yep.
You know why? Because Agent Orange taught them a lesson. You lead me into something, you're going to pay. That's why they got them out of there, okay? So when you stop and think about it, let's real quick let's go over the biggest disaster that the Japanese ever had earthquake-wise was in 1923, September the 1st, okay? 140,000 people dead. That's why Japan has the #1 earthquake preparedness. Every September the 1st, on the anniversary of that, they shut the country down and they have earthquake preparedness. They inspect the buildings and they got huge buses that go all over the country. You get on them and they shake so you can get used to what a tremor shakes like. Now they talk about, well, they have a wonderful culture. They don't, isn't it lovely? They don't steal. You've been hearing them say that, right?
Right.
Well, let me tell you something. Let's go back to 1923, right? When that earthquake hit, they had rumors that day that the Philippines was pausing in the water, and they killed, lynched, and burnt up 3,000 Filipinos, Koreans, and Chinese who had Korean-sounding names, okay?
Wow.
You see, racism supersedes culture, okay?
Right.
And so don't tell me about they so nice and they so... All you got to do is just check the records. Now, They ain't going to do nothing now because they are so frightened. They don't know what's about to happen. First, when you look at today's London, the Financial Times, it is a headline across the headline that is incredible. China halts nuclear projects. Now, that not mean nothing from the top. China was about to embark on a nuclear plant building that when they got through, 40% of all the nuclear plants in the world would be in China. They stopped it. Okay? Because they know what's coming out of there. And anytime you find somebody breaking in your house and you run in and throw a bomb and burn the whole house down, right? Wow. Well, when you take these nuclear plants that can run as much as $11 billion, when they drop that seawater in there, that means they can never use it again. And so when you sit and look at what they're saying and what they're doing, and so consequently, the New York Times today, listen to the headlines, New York Times, USC's extremely high radiation level. See, they've been lying, but they can't lie now because it's about to come out of there. And so, you know, when I knew I was going to be on your show, I walked all radiation. The whole world is frightened because we don't see when they tell you, it has no short-term effect. They lying. They have long-term effect.
Right.
And so when you hear them, and so there'll be all these people running out now buying potassium iodine. Look, if you use that stuff before you get radiation, that will kill you. I called a company the other day, one of the biggest makers of that, through a friend of mine. He said they wasn't ready for it. They got orders to take them 2 years to fill. Okay? What you need to do when you can't find it now is kelp, K-E-L-P. Right. It has high iodine or seaweed. It protects the thyroid, but can't nothing protect it if that thing blow and you get the heavy radiation come out of there. And so this is where we are. And finally, maybe, you know, God is trying to talk to us. Okay? Yep. And we don't hear. Now, I'm one that don't make a pit bull out of God, right? But you go back to America, and we dropped the nuclear bomb on Japan. The first one was August the 6th, on a Monday, 1945, Hiroshima. 3 days later, that one was called Little Boy, okay? The second one we dropped was called Fat Man. That was on Nagasaki 3 days later. Now, go back, and this is your homework. Punch up the Mount Helena when it blew. Yep. The first one blew up was the same amount of radiation that when we dropped August the 6th, 1948. The second one blew 3 days later. Fat Boy, right? So 3 days later. Now, the only person that died up there because he wouldn't leave. He said, you can't make me leave Mount Hell. I've lived here. His name was Harry Truman. Harry Truman was the president that dropped the bomb. He was from Independence, Missouri. Harry Truman that lived in Seattle, Washington, up on the Mount Helena. The street he lived on was Independence Boulevard, okay? And who would have ever believed when we dropped, see the Japanese surrendered a month before we dropped it and we wouldn't let them, okay? And all of that. And so consequently now, who would have ever believed that trick we played over there is fixing to get blowback on us now. And so somewhere when you stop and think about that this planet is put together, it's here. We all are one. We can say Italians and this. When that radiation comes through, it ain't going to say who's a Jew, let's get them. Who's a German, let's spare them. Who's this, or who's that. If you can go into your forest, go into that forest, you can turn anything away. And for grandmother, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to show you what happened in Japan the other day. I want
Give it to me quick. I got 40 seconds. Give it to me quick.
I want you to get 2 plates and a cup of water. And when them plates shift, and take one plate and put over another. That's what an earthquake is. And plate shift. And then put some water in one of them and blow it out. That's a tsunami. Something that innocent have caused the whole world because we don't control the air. We don't control the wind. And so just don't be afraid. Fear and God do not occupy the same space.
Yes, sir. The Professor, I love you. I love you. I love you. Dick Gregory, we got to have you back on soon, man. I love you, Dick. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Love you.
All right. Talk to you soon. the Professor Dick Gregory. Look, if you don't do nothing else, tell somebody you love them and appreciate them. You may not get the chance tomorrow. That's why I tell you every day, I love you with the love of Jesus. Blue Fire Gold Mile to my blue and white family out there. Please, everybody, investtf.com. All you church folks, I'm going to see if after Sunday, if your church is going to donate. Why don't you ask your pastors that? See where y'all pastor let you do that. God willing, talk to you guys tomorrow right here on the Warren Ballentine Show. Blue Fire.
Sweat blood till you bleed blue, you know. But you know about have you had your wood today? When we tell them girls a third leg, it's a strong leg. And how it stays juicy with them stepping scars. It's 587, man, you know who we are. Cause we work the hardest and we step the best. Since 1940 for the competition to rest.
1090 WILDAF. WILD, where information is power. The Osiris Group proudly presents Families Do Matter with your hosts Larry and Deborah Hickenbottom. Sundays from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern on NewsTalk 1090 AM WILD Boston, where information is power.